Hello, my name is Randall Yard, the Contractors Accountant here at Fast Easy Accounting, and today we're going to talk about the 5 key performance indicators every construction company owner needs. Our purpose here at Fast Easy Accounting is helping you achieve your definition of success. That is our pride and joy. When you first get QuickBooks and it's set up, the key performance indicators have to be set up in QuickBooks. They're not in there already. So what happens is a lot of people try to figure it out themselves, and here's what occurs. This is the QuickBooks key performance indicators when it's set up correctly by a professional QuickBooks expert in construction accounting. It's a beautiful thing. The birds are singing, the sun is shining, and you've got the information you need to run your business. This is what it looks like when the contractor sets it up in QuickBooks. This is what the bad bookkeepers set up in QuickBooks. I say a bad bookkeeper, I'm referring to people who do not understand construction accounting. Also the people, the bookkeepers that embezzle. There's stories in people today about that, and the people who are just simply not skilled in accounting or construction accounting. This is what the CPAs have in QuickBooks. Now don't get me wrong, I love CPAs. We've had a CPA doing our taxes for the last 30 years, even though we are accountants, my wife and I. We love CPAs. They understand the tax code. Keep them out of your QuickBooks, but let them do their taxes. Life is good. Reverse is also true. We do not do the annual income tax. We do the quarterlies and the payroll, that sort of thing, but never the annual. This is what your contractor friends have in QuickBooks for his key performance indicators. He's not sure why it's not working, but he followed the direction as best he could. This is what was finally set up in QuickBooks. This is when it was finished and what it looked like. So what are key performance indicators? Key performance indicators are really simple. It's knowing where the money is made and lost. This is the primary key performance indicator, the job probability summary. Here I'm showing an example of a sample company, and it looks like Henry Mancini is a really good friend of the owner, and the owner of the company is Bob Get It Done Construction. Well, Bob loves Henry Mancini. They're buds. Unfortunately, Henry Mancini cost more than he pays to have his construction and maintenance work done, to the degree that actually Bob is losing $47,000 in this period of time working with Henry. Sam Hill, on the other hand, only costs $197,000. Revenues are $1.1 million plus. He makes almost $1 million in revenue to Sam Hill. The difficulty is Sam Hill is a drier personality, a little hard to get along with, not friendly, doesn't go have a beer with Bob, but he does pay the bill on time, and he's fantastic. So contractors, we all are emotionally driven. I'm really here to tell you, be wise, work with your numbers. There's a little Randallism I'm going to share with you. Early to bed, early to rise, know your numbers, and advertise. With key performance indicators, it's at the auction. Every contractor understands the value. I've been to several auctions, and I've talked to a lot of contractors, young and old, men and women, and all of them understand KPI. And they're heartbroken to see their business being sold for pennies on the dollar. I've also watched them go out and talk to other contractors and try to tell them about KPI. Nobody listens until they're at the auction themselves. It's kind of a tough situation. There are 5 reports. We call them the 5 at 5 for 5. If you'll review these 5 reports at 5 p.m. for 5 minutes, your company should never be at the auction unless you want it to. Number 1 report is cash. Cash is king. Number 2 is receivables. Cash coming in. It's owed to you. Number 3 is payables. Cash is going to go out. Number 4 is profit and loss. How much profit, how much loss. Number 5 is the balance sheet. You review these 5 at 5 for 5 minutes at 5 p.m. That's just a mnemonic. You can review them anytime you'd like, but I recommend you do it daily, no matter what. The first report that we pull up in QuickBooks, it's an icon. Once it's set up, is the cash report. Now this cash report shows that this contractor has got a lot of cash on hand. In the money market account, the very last one, is actually what's called a sweep account. So he's actually making some money on his loose cash. I would work with him and talk about moving some more of this cash into a sweep account. I recommend Work with your banker. Your banker is your friend. Do not pay attention to people who tell you to get in the market and do other things. Um, Big discussion of this later. Very important. So that's the cash report. Number 2 is receivables. This is cash going to be coming into you. I look at this report, one of the first things I look for is what's in the 61 to 90 or the over 90 day column. Anything over 90 days is worth about 2 cents on the dollar. You'll be very lucky if you get paid. There's a lot of psychology involved here. We'll go into that sometime later. It's very important to keep your receivables in the 31 to 60. Over that 31 to 60, they devalue very quickly. I'm concerned about this because I'm seeing the 31 to 60 that this contractor is loaning $39,773.31, probably at zero interest. And if he has any credit cards or any loans that he's paying interest on, then what he's actually doing is he's borrowing money at high interest rates and loaning it to his customers for zero. I'm not happy with that, but I am happy with the fact that this is not too far out. The next report is the payables report, who he owes money to. I recommend my contractors keep the payables within 30 days. What's going to happen is that your suppliers and vendors will actually give you a better price, and there's opportunities for discounts. Very, very important. This is the profit and loss. Now, I'm getting a little randomism for you. Cash is a fact, profit is an opinion. Profit is very important. It is the foundation of the KPI reports. I like to see in construction, I want to see the construction income as one number. Then I want to see the cost of goods sold as direct construction costs and indirect construction costs. I want to see the overhead broke out between marketing, officer compensation, occupancy, office expense, and general administrative. The actual chart of accounts is about 2,000 lines long, but this one is a really condensed one so we can kind of work with it. This is what you'll look at, just a one-page report. You can always drill down and get as much information as you'd like. The other income and expense, these are things that are not germane to this construction company. So they have financing costs. They might get a little interest off an account. They may have sold an asset and made some money on it. But these are all things that are called below the line. So we're looking at financial leverage and operating leverage. Two very key things. The next thing I'd like to look at is the balance sheet. Now the balance sheet is kind of like the big summary. The balance sheet has 3 O's. Really simple. There's what you own, your total assets. There's what you owe, you got your liabilities, and what's left over, that's what your company is worth. So every day at a glance, you can open this up and say, my company is worth total equity. Maybe more or less what you see here. But the idea is that you'll know at a glance if your company is growing, green and growing, or ripe and rotting. Another quick randomism. You're either green and growing or you're ripe and rotting. So this is very important. These 5 reports, you look at them at 5 o'clock for 5 p.m. or just 5 minutes a day, literally. And I have contractors I've worked with. I love contractors. A lot of guys, myself, I'm a very large man. I'm about 275 pounds, 6 foot, and I have fingers like cucumbers. But even my own fingers, I can buzz through these reports in about 2 minutes. I've had a variety of contractors from you name it, and the slowest contractor I had, it didn't use a computer a lot. It took him about 5.7 minutes, 5.6 minutes to do this. Once he understood it, just pressing some icons with your mouse. That's it. It just pops it up and shows you. There's nothing else to do, and you can print it if you'd like. So, good bookkeeping equals informed decisions. Give you another quick realism. The early to bed, early to rise, know your numbers, and advertise. This is really key. You have to have good bookkeeping to make informed decisions. These reports are worthless unless your QuickBooks is set up and maintained correctly. It's like the tachometer. It's like the five dials on your truck. You have the tachometer, the miles per hour, the fuel, the oil pressure, and the water temperature. And if they're giving you the correct information, you're making good decisions. If you're not giving the correct information, you're going to have some real problems. Same in your business. I want to ask you, who does your bookkeeping? If you say I do all the work and the bookkeeping, I say that's interesting, because you're probably not maximizing your business. If you say my spouse does it because he or she has lots of time and loves doing it, I think you need to have a conversation. Over 30 years in this business, I've never found a spouse yet that enjoyed it. If you have a relative doing it because it's easy and they work cheap, you're in trouble. You just don't know it. If you have an employee doing it and they're answering the phones and they're running errands and they're making deliveries and they're the janitor because you want to get all the value out of them, let me tell you, that is the first thing that comes up when someone is caught embezzling. Why did you embezzle money from this contractor? Well, I was overworked and underpaid. That's a huge word to the wise. The worst of the worst is the cheap bookkeeper working at her home. They're telling you that they're saving an overhead. Well, what they're actually doing is sharing your information with everybody and anybody. Not wise. We actually have an office here in Linwood. Everything is done here at the office. Nobody takes anything home. Nothing leaves the office. It's not outsourced outside this building. We have a bunch, we have some construction accounting specialists, bookkeepers, and data entry people. But everything is done here. We would like to be your bookkeeping service and your business consultant. If you'd like to choose us, we would like to put a bookkeeper in your office. You might like this one. Like you meet your new 24-hour bookkeeper. This bookkeeper never argues, arrives late, leaves early, takes long lunch and coffee breaks, demands overtime, fringe benefits, or any bad habits that drive business owners crazy. They're ready to work when you need it, 24 hours a day, including weekends and holidays. You simply open it up when you're sending paperwork. The next thing you do is too simple. Load everything, push one button, your documents come to our paperless server. Here in our office, we work with multiple screens, so we have your data on one screen, your QuickBooks on the other, and we're just rocking and rolling. You file your documents in a box and it gets full, you label it with a date and put it away. You can access them remotely by paperless server, or you can with your paper right there. You can also bring your documents to us. We're here in Linwood, and we have a way that you can draw the documents out 24/7. It's totally up to you. And we do the same thing. We scan it, put it in, so you can do it yourself, or you can bring the documents by, whatever is best for you. You can also access, if you care to, you can access your QuickBooks remotely. We actually have what's called a remote server that's been approved by Intuit. So all you do is go into our website and you click that button right there, QuickBooks, and bang, your QuickBooks desktop opens up. You can get your QuickBooks 24/7 anytime you have internet connection. It also comes with Word and Excel 2010. The question a lot of times people ask is why us? Because we have formal education, 20 plus years, and that's post high school. Our QuickBooks experience is 45 years plus. Our construction experience is 70 years. We're not just accountants, we're construction accountants, which means we've actually owned and operated construction businesses. I'll give you 5 more reasons to hire us. Peace and harmony at home. You spend time doing the things only you can do. Selling jobs, coordinating jobs. Your loans, lines of credit are easier to get. Stable companies do attract good customers. You'll maximize your deductions in your tax return. We work with your tax preparer. I do have a big coupon here. We have a variety of specials running all the time. Please use a big coupon. If you forget, we'll tell you. This is our business card. We are members of the Master Builders Association. We're located right here on Linwood. And here's a quick overview of, this is my smiling face, by the way. And this is our address here in Linwood. We're just north of the Ford dealer and just south of the place we get the emissions on 64th. Well, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure talking with you. If we can be of any service, please give us a call. And do check out our website because we do have a lot of good information and a lot of free stuff you can download. So thank you very much. Bye for now.